Hi everybody, this is June from Mors Subita.
And this is Eemeli from Mors Subita, and you're watching GRIMM TV.
How are you guys today?
Really good.
Yeah, really good so far. It's been a fun day, and yeah, a lot of interviews, a lot of good people around here, and it's been fun. Yeah.
Getting better.
Yeah.
All the time.
And with every beer, it gets a bit better.
Yeah. That's not the reason.
So, your new album, Extinction Era, is almost to be released. I'm guessing you're pretty excited about that.
Yes,
Yeah, you're
super
right.
excited so far.
Would be weird if you're not.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Now, like from what I've gathered, I listened to the album a couple of times, and from what I gathered, there's a lot of kind of singing about like depression, mental struggles, and such.
Yeah.
Is that coming from like a personal perspective, or?
Yeah, I mean, all the lyrics are really personal on this album, so that's a different approach we did from the last, which were more universal, but this is just, well, writing about the feels you feel at the moment and, going with the flow. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was kind of in a way noticeable. I mean, it's still like what you're singing about is still applicable to like the world, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But it was kind of like obvious that there was like a bit of a switch there.
Yeah, true.
Was that because you had some like personal issues that you needed or wanted to work out with this album, or not really?
Well, it was kind of like therapy sessions with all the writing the lyrics and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's been such a long like time span when everything was written, so there's, I don't know, a lot of personal issues, but also a lot of like maybe reflecting someone else's issues and then bringing them to your head and writing about that. So yeah, you can actually, you can read it in many ways, basically.
I also noticed that the music is somewhat different than before. I mean, it's still very obviously like Mors Subita, but it feels like this time around there's way more like melody in it than before. Like it's not just straight on like trashing. Was that something that you kind of like that was your goal from the beginning, or?
Yes, I would say so. Because before we started the writing process, actually it was in the end of Into the Pitch Black. We decided we want to go further with our different ends of this whole album. It has to be more aggressive, more brutal, but as well it has to be more melodic and have these beautiful moments there. So I think we kind of nailed it this time.
Yeah, we tried to take both extremes and just put them together like this, and then this happened.
Yeah, I guess when you do that, it kind of highlights both because they're so, in a way, contradicting.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a really big dynamic in this album compared to Into the Pitch Black.
Yeah, that's sort of what I noticed too. Like I liked your music like before, but with this one it feels like I think in the press release it was said that you strive to create more of a balance in your music.
Yes.
I don't know, it feels like you accomplished that, so that's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hopefully, yes.
You were earlier saying with the lyrics that your approach was like was a bit different from before.
Yeah.
And like same with the melodies, it's like something new. Were there like other elements that you've decided to add to this album now that you haven't done before yet?
I think there's not that much of the new elements, but saying that, we also spent quite a lot of time of pre-production of this whole album, as well as post-production. So it was more work done with this one than the earlier.
Yeah. I think it was not so much about bringing more elements into it. It was more about refining what we had before and just trying to make better. And yeah. I think we succeeded.
I also noticed, like, for instance, in I think it was Parasites, and like it started with some synths and they come like some synthesizer and comes back later in the song too. Like, felt like that was something relatively new to your music. I don't really like recall it that in other songs necessarily, like that forward.
Yeah. It's actually, we had that similar effects in the Pitch Black as well, but they were not that up.
Yeah.
There were smaller things in the background time to time, but this time we decided to bring those more forward.
Yeah, and it was also cool to hear I think it was in the same song that there's like a acoustic section with even like violin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a cool touch there.
That's the refining process I was talking about. So we had like synths and violins and stuff before as well, but they were just not as loud or in there for you to listen to in the background.
And then it was very interesting between all those like very balanced songs and such, to then suddenly get thrown in the face with Disconnect.
So I see it works.
Yes, that was the whole point of the song, to just mix it up, and we put it right after the slow song of the album just to melt faces.
Yeah. It feels so aggressive and so thrashing when it comes, small epic song like Into Eternity. When you're, head bashed, Disconnect. So
it made me think of like some like rock artists or whatever sometimes throw in like a very very short like ridiculous punk song in there. With your sound, it made me actually think that it was like borderline like grindcore type of stuff. That was the purpose, I'm guessing.
Yes, that was.
It like immediately made me think of like even some songs like Napalm Dead or something like that. It's like I liked it. It was like, what's this?
I think it has something to do with the Napalm Dead, this working title we have.
Yeah, it might be. What was the working title?
I'm not sure. It was some grind.
Grind something.
Now you also for this album have like a quite distinct album cover. So I'm kind of wondering, is there like a story or concept behind the album cover?
The cover was actually made by Nikos of Vision Black.
Yeah.
And I think, did we have a theme for him?
No, I think we more like gave him certain guidelines which the songs are telling about and the title. That was it.
True. And there were like a few like references that we went through. I mean, he sent us some pictures and then we just discussed them, and then we ended up with the most recent cover. Which was really good. It has kind of an old school vibe, but still it's like it's unique and modern anyways. So suits us. Yeah.
In a way, made me think a little bit of like not necessarily to talk bad about it, but made me think a little bit of like what sometimes like teenage metalheads would see as like metal.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, if I'm right, this is your first album that you're releasing with Out of Line.
Yes, that's correct.
How did you guys get to work with him, and like, how is it?
I'm not quite sure when the discussions with Out of Line and Mika began, but he brought to our attention that Outline was interested to work with us, and at the same time we were interested to work with them as well. It's easier to have a bigger European company behind us than the earlier, and I'd say all the cooperation has been really good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they really like their Finnish bands there.
Yeah.
I mean, they have quite a few.
Yeah, that's true.
But, well, I guess you're in good company then.
Yeah, I'd say so.
For sure.
Well, something a little bit more, like not specifically about the album. I was kind of wondering if you would get to describe your music or the band to someone only using images. What would you go for? I know it's a tricky, it's a tricky one. It's a thinker.
Yeah.
Yep. This might take a while.
It's basically the same thing you do when you're writing an album cover.
Yeah.
How do you describe this? But yeah, I'd say it's something vulgar as well as depressing, dark.
I would just take, Pantera's vulgar display of power. I would take the album like cover and just paint it more like dark. Some shades in there and maybe some red.
Replace the fist with a metal bat.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Steamroller bat. The ones you see in.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Next album cover. Done.
So smashing someone in the face with a baseball bat. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That works.
Now, like, I know it's kind of tricky to like tour with your new album and stuff like that now. Are you planning to do like any kind of like release party or online type of thing like a lot of bands do now, or not really?
We actually got a release tour coming, if it's gonna happen. That's just, we have everything booked and ready, but we'll see how things sort out. And of course, we want to do everything as safe and reasonably as we can. So we'll just have to go with the flow and see what happens. Yeah, but maybe an online show could be nice if we can't do the live shows. We'll see.
Yeah, we try to focus now on the live shows and hope they're gonna happen. Yeah. But let's see. Nobody really knows how these things are gonna play out.
Yeah, I've also seen like some bands do some like quite cool stuff where they do like the evening before the release, like a pre-listening live stream where they like talk a bit about the album and have like contact with the people that are watching the live stream and such.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool things, but yeah.
True. We usually have like a pre-listening event we held with the two previous albums at least.
Yeah, so we did.
Yeah. Maybe we should do it online.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm giving ideas.
At all.
Well, anyway, I think we can round this chat up. Anything you want to add still?
Buy our album. Now.
And if you don't, please listen to it first and buy it afterwards.
Yeah, give us feedback. We want to hear
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you.